Sit down because I need to look at you. I need to look at you.
I'll tell Julie I'll come back.
Now we know that the Medrash says that malachim is malachim mamish. That malachim could mean one of two things. It could mean messengers, or it could also mean angels. So we know, and Rashi quotes it, that malachim are literally angels. Now, this is another example. We already have the midrashic. We already have so many stories in Genesis about angels. What is an angel? And how does that fit into this? Is it higher than the Shekhinah? Is it lower than the Shekhinah? What about us? Are the different desires that we have for good and for bad, are they like different angels, like a good angel and a bad angel? What about conflict between Jacob and Esau, which is what this parsha is focusing on? How do you appease wickedness? Is there ever a time for negotiating with terrorism, with terrorists? Do you ever give a little something to the dark side? This is a question that the Zohar spends a lot of time, a disproportionate amount of time dealing with. Did this lead to what the Ari then taught about the breaking of the vessels and the elevating the sparks that then led to Shabsai Tzvi and Jacob Frank, these wild orgies, and in the case of the Frankist movement, because the Zohar says sometimes we have to descend for the sake of ascending, sometimes we have to go lower for the sake of going up. I'm going to show you what the Zohar says today. The safeguards the Zohar builds in, and I'm going to explain to you how the Zohar is trying to both put this idea out there and then take it back for this very reason. But of course it's too tempting to just let it be a theory that applies in very specific cases. But you can't blame the Zohar for it. Because the Zohar is a book of polarity. It is a book of the masculine and the feminine. It's a book of body and soul. Of the Yetzer Tov, the Yetzer Hara, the right, the left, Chesed, Gvura. Yacov and Esav. The good sfirot and the bad sfirot. Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim. Rabbi Yehuda Pasach. Rabbi Yehuda started with a verse. Ki malachav yitzav alach l'shmarcha b'chol derachecha. It's a verse in the 92nd chapter of Psalms that God charges His angels, or they are charged to guard us in all of our travels, in all of our ways. So, Haikra Akmu Chavraya. This verse was discussed, was studied by the Chavraya. That's the reference to the group of the students were called the Chavraya Kadisha, the holy group of Rabbi Shimon. The Habishaita de Barnash Asi Alma Miyad is damen behadei Yetzer Hara. Because at the time that a person is born and comes into this world, right away within them is found an inclination, a selfish inclination. We call it Yetzer Hara, inclination towards bad. Diu mikatrik le'levarnash tadir, which it tempts us constantly. The problem is it tempts us and then it also judges us.
And then it kills us.
And there's also Zohar that says that. Here it doesn't go that far. That's because what it happens is it metamorphosizes. It's almost like you first begin with the Yetzer Hara for something, and then it becomes an addiction, and then it kills you. That's one way of understanding it. It metastasizes. It starts as a harmless thing, you know. But there is a Zohar that does say that. But here it's just giving you kind of the basic intro. It's not getting too into the Yetzer Hara right now. And it's with us constantly, and that's one of the things the Zohar. One of the beautiful things about the Talmud is a lot of things Freud said are really based on Jewish principles. Not everything, because he was wrong in so many things. He was wrong in so many things because he said a lot of chidushim, so he's bound to be wrong. But one of the things, the idea of the consistent nature of the Yetzer Hara, that it's not just something you battle, you've won, and it leaves. That's something the Talmud knows well. That's something the Zohar knows well. So it's with you. It's not like, oh, you don't just vanquish it and you're now like, get that card from your Monopoly set that you can just keep going and not have to worry. Like it says in Bereshis, Lepesach Chatas Robetz, by Cain and Abel, that sin crouches at the door. My Chatas Robetz, what does that mean? The Yetzer Hara, it's going on that within us. It's not just some externalized version of the act, but the thing that causes us to act, the Yetzer Hara. But David Hachinami Karyachatas, David also called the inclination for evil a sin. Sinner sinned. He said, I sin before you constantly. So it could be that the Zohar is reading that I have a constant Yetzer Hara. I'm constantly tempted to sin. Because could David say about himself that he's literally sinning? In fact, some people are so troubled by this thing is that what they say is because once you sin, until you do the proper level of tshuva, and the proper level always changes as you advance, so whatever sin you've already done is constantly like haunting you. But the Zohar is reading it as that the sin within me is constant because it's my inclination to do that which is wrong. Da Yetzer Hara. Okay, begin to iu avid levarnash kol yom lemechti kamemare, because that's what it is. That's what its job is. It tries to work on every day getting a person to sin against their Creator. V'Yetzer Hara da lo is adi mibarnash miyom b'dis yalim mibarnash la'almin. This Yetzer Hara, let me tell you something. It doesn't leave. Remember that? I told you that in shul. I wasn't making it up. It doesn't take a day off. I mean, we say, okay, like Yom Kippur, maybe it like gives you a little bit, it's a little weakened. You're fasting, so you weaken it a little bit. But it's still there. And what about the Yetzer Tov? The Yetzer Tov is nowhere in the picture yet, right? The Yetzer Tov asil lebarnash miyom asil izdacha. When does the good inclination come into the person? When the person wants to purify themselves.